Hey everybody, my name is Julio Salgado. I'm a visual artist and the project coordinator for Culture Strike. In today's video, we're going to show you how to do stencils, in case you didn't know. But before we do that, we gotta go shopping. Here's my shopping list. I'll wait for you to get yours. Okay, you're done? Okay, you got it? Okay, cool. Follow me.
Assuming that you don't already have access to all these materials, you're gonna have to go to an office supply store to find the majority of these items. To make stencils, you'll need X-Acto knives, extra blades, a can or two of adhesive spray. Before purchasing the cans, pop off the top, make sure they have tips, and one 22 by 28 cardstock poster sheet per stencil that you're planning on making. So if you're planning on making 10, we suggest you get about 12, just in case you mess up.
Since we didn't find everything that we needed in the office supply store, now we're heading to a hardware store. So follow me to that because we're gonna go to the hardware store. I like hardware stores for art.
You won't be doing much shopping at the hardware store, honestly. You'll just be picking up a couple of things, assuming that you don't already have them. The first is a tarp, so that you can cover the surface where you'll be painting. You don't want to get permanent paint all over the place. And the second is obviously the spray paint. Each can makes about 10 to 15 posters depending on how big the stencil is. We suggest dark colors such as dark red or dark blue, preferably black. That way they pop.
Now that you have your materials, it's actually time to print. In the About section, you're gonna find a link where you can find some of the images. We've decided to go with this image right here, which is 22 by 28. You can go to a local print shop to get it printed for like $4 to $5. Now that you have your image ready and printed out in black and white, let's go to the studio and print. Hey everybody, we're here in Oakland at Fabiana's studio. She's the co-founder of Culture Strike.
Hi everyone. Next up, we are going to go step by step and show you how to cut stencils so you can develop signage for your event.
Let's take this step by step. But before we begin, I should let you know, making stencils all by yourself could be a little challenging, and frankly, it kinda sucks. But it doesn't have to, not if you hit up a couple of friends and make a party out of it. Have people come through, bring food, crank up the music, everybody gets a task, form an assembly line, and get to it. That way everything gets done quickly and precisely, and everybody has fun. Alright, let's do this. First, cover the surface where you'll be working with that blue tarp. You don't want to get any glue or any paint on that surface, so just cover it. Another item that we need but we didn't mention before is a cutting mat. We didn't mention it because you don't particularly have to purchase one. You could just get a whole bunch of cardboard. This will really come into play once we start cutting. It's important to have it because you don't want to cut through the tarp and onto the tabletop. Those X-Acto knives can be really sharp. Step 2. Take your printout and put it on the table face down. Then, grab the adhesive spray and spray a fine mist over the back side of this printout. You don't want to spray too much because you don't want to make the paper soggy, because then it'll rip. You just want it to stick. This next part's where it helps to have a friend. Flip the print over and carefully guide it onto the cardstock sheet. Be sure that it sticks to the poster sheet. Smooth it out with your hands. You should have no wrinkles and no bubbles. Make sure it sticks. This is important because next we're going to take an X-Acto knife and cut out all the dark spots of the poster. Step 3. Make sure to place the print on top of the cutting mat, or if you don't have one, the cardboard. You're going to be cutting out all the black pieces of the print. Remember to be conscientious and stay focused. The X-Acto blades can be really sharp and you don't want to cut your hands and you don't want to cut into the tabletop. Once you completed cutting out all the black spots of the print, this is what your print should look like. This is your stencil. You are now ready to stencil. For the next step, we highly recommend you take it to the outside. Spray paint fumes could be a little noxious, so you don't want to be in an enclosed area when painting your stencils. Once you're ready to paint, you should have the following materials with you. You should have your stencil, other 22 by 28 cardstock sheets, spray adhesive, spray cans, and a plastic knife. Sounds odd, but you'll see why. So what you do is, you put the stencil face down, so when you're looking at it, you see the mirror image. Grab the spray adhesive and very lightly spray a little bit of glue on it. Then, grab a clean cardstock poster. Take the stencil, flip it so that the glue is now on the bottom, and gently overlay it on the clean cardstock sheet. If you have an art roller or a pin roller, you can use it to smooth out the stencil and make sure that it's secured on the white cardstock sheet. If you don't have a roller, you can use the spray can, like so. Once the stencil is secured in its place, you take the spray can, shake it up a bit, and in short little spurts from left to right, just cover the holes. You don't want to continuously spray because it'll soak the stencil and it'll quickly fall apart. Also, if you spray too much, the paint will drip on the stencil and it won't look that great. Once you're done spraying all the spaces, just hang back for a second, let it dry. Give it about a minute or two, and then, remember that plastic knife? Pick it up. You're gonna slowly peel apart the stencil from the white cardstock sheet. You're gonna use the plastic knife to help you with that, particularly in the figures of the stencil. You don't want to rush this process because you don't want your stencil to break and fall apart. Once you peel the stencil completely off, you'll have a finished poster. However, it needs to still dry. Don't stack them. Either hang them or put them on the ground and let them air dry. Each stencil should give you about 10 to 15 posters, sometimes even more, depending whether you let the stencil dry or not. And there you go. All you aspiring artists now know how to make stencils for all sorts of events.
It's hard work to do these stencils. This is why it's important to have a big group so that everyone can participate.